We spent 5 days in and around Kusadasi. This was a shop. So that's the temple of Zeus down there. I'm here, not too far from the Aegean Sea in Turkey. I heard it from a reliable source that these ancient temples, there's nobody around, as you can see, that sometimes you can find these trolls in the olive trees, because there's plenty of olive trees here, and as you can see, there's olives, and they do like olives, so I've been told. So notice this is an older tree, so if you kind of look in these little holes like this one right there, you might see a troll. That's what I've been told. You know, you have to believe. If you don't believe, no, you'll never see him, right? This looks like a promising spot. Right in there somewhere. They do wear colorful clothing. That's a flower right in front, which might have been planted by a troll. So if he's or she is in there, then it might show up. But they are really shy little people. Yes, they are. Well, anyway, I'll keep looking. This is the temple of Zeus in Euromos, Turkey. Oh, we were the only ones there. It was awesome. So these cows and were at the entrance to this ruined city of Iassos, which was about an hour and a half drive south of Kusadasi. We hung out here for a good 2 hours. There was an archaeological team that was working there, but other than that, we were pretty much the only people there. This was a floor in a Roman villa being covered. We just wandered around there and just took it all in. This little theater or amphitheater or whatever you want to call it was fairly small and compared to some of the ones that we've seen that seat thousands. I would say maybe 500 people could sit there, in there. Maybe 800, I don't know. Depends how big you are. And so it was not a real important city, but it was on a port. Afterwards, we had a great lunch at this little diner, restaurant, very good. These ruins were carved there, and they reminded me so much of the ones I saw in Iceland. I don't know what they mean, but, and then of course I had to have a beer. This is a menorah that was carved into the steps of the library in Ephesus, which was a capital, hugely important, huge city that the Greeks established, and the Romans later took it, and the Ottomans probably took it and probably took a lot of stuff out of it. So the Roman imperial period. I assume that they rebuilt this thing because Ephesus has been hit numerous times by catastrophic earthquakes that completely leveled the city. And but it's impressive. It really is. And to think that it was a library that held books, imagine. Imagine that. A 3,000-year-old book that you could read. So we did this on a tour, so we really didn't get to hang out here as long as we wanted to, because they keep you moving along. But the weather was really nice, for December. This was a public toilet with seats for, 30 people, I guess. I wonder if they had wooden stalls that separated each of those little toilets, or if people just didn't have any problem doing their business next to somebody else, or if it was just for men or women. I wonder how all that worked out. Don't know. This is a beautiful floor that they've uncovered there. Amazing design, crazy mosaic, just crazy beautiful. And to think it was all buried for thousands of years or hundreds of years or for however long it was. There was a lot of this place that was closed off as well. I think because of the time of year we were there, there wasn't that many tourists at all, really. Which again is nice, and also the weather cooperated, because we did get rained on in Istanbul, and also in Cappadocia, but not here. Yeah, wouldn't you like to have that floor in your bathroom? This was some important tomb that somebody was buried in, I guess. That's what they said. Here's another view. Down this long stairway. Here comes Leslie. She's been up there exploring. We took a tour of Pamukkale, where the city of Hierapolis is. There's a view of the theater. It's huge. Thousands of people could easily be seated here. It was, the city of Hierapolis was destroyed by a huge earthquake. And here are the famous travertine ponds. Calcium carbonate comes out of these hot springs, and over thousands of years have created these really beautiful pools. They're all white except for the water, which is blue. And these springs were considered healing waters, a place where people came to get well thousands of years ago, and even now they still come. One of the series of people have your whole body.
Yeah, I see that.
There used to be a bunch of hotels that were right next to this, and they used the water for those swimming pools for a long time, hundreds of years, and the water started to dry up, so they knocked down the hotels. Said you couldn't use water for that anymore. So from the graveyard of this city, they dug out a bunch of these coffins, or I'm not sure they call them coffins, intricately carved marble with obviously important people were put in these, and but the carving is just so intricate. How long it would take somebody to make one of those. Maybe you start having it made when you're born, so that by the time you die, it's done. whoever the craftsmen were, they were amazing. Oh, chunks of marble. Crazy beautiful. Some of the things look like Medusa. This looks like a unhappy person. A little cherub. Another Medusa-like looking head. This one didn't have a top. I was probably taken by somebody else, but this one did have its top encased. They're still digging around this place and unearthing stuff. It's still happening. I guess grapes were important. It seems like there's a lot of grapes on these coffins.
Great.
Well, there we are, back at that theater. See how big it is. And we're headed back up to Istanbul and then home.